Welcome back to Holy Banter. This is Christina Steele.
And I'm Andrea Simpson, and we are here today with the lovely Jenny Bryans. She has been a parishioner here at St. Alphonsus for the past 3 years. And if you've had a precious baby baptized in the last year or so, you may recognize her. She is one of the fabulous baptism assistants that we have.
Well, thank you, Jenny.
Thank you.
How do you like doing that, baptism assisting?
It's really, really special. There's just something wonderful about meeting families with their new babies, and there's just nothing more special than a baptism.
That's awesome. You're new to the area.
Yes,
You recently moved here about 3 years ago.
that's correct.
Your husband decided he'd had enough of Wall Street. Yes.
Yes, we moved 11 times in our 38 years of marriage.
Wow.
So it was a lot of work transfers all over the country and even internationally. We lived in the UK for a few years and also Canada. So we have had our fill of moving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And-
How do you find a community or a church community even when you move so many times?
That is probably one of the very first things that I do whenever we moved is to find a church community. Our Catholic faith is so wonderful in that way. It doesn't matter where you move. You can move all over the world and you will find a Catholic church. And that is so comforting. And it immediately gives you a sense of belonging when you move somewhere and you know no one. And now instantly you have a church community, which is really beautiful.
That is so true. Tell us what brought you to Indiana.
When my husband retired from International Bank, I found a job for him at University of Indianapolis. He was not necessarily looking himself, but I really felt like I needed to help him make this transition. And the job description said must have a sense of humor. And that is what drew him to the position. He's
Aw.
like, okay. And it's interesting how God works. You know, he knows exactly what you need to read or see and to move you in the right direction. And this truly was an incredible move for us. Life-giving.
But I think the position's neat because he went from banking and working mad hours to now he's a mentor for kids graduating from University of Indianapolis. And you said he
Yes.
absolutely loves it.
Absolutely loves it.
You had your eyes set on Indianapolis. What made you pick Zionsville?
We have a friend that lives in Brownsburg, and she showed us Zionsville, and we fell in love with it instantly. It actually reminded us of some of the little towns on the East Coast because it's so historic. So we loved the idea of it being walkable. That was something that we really enjoyed when we lived in England. We walked everywhere.
You got a job with Arch Indy.
Yes, I was the disabilities ministry coordinator for the Archdiocese of Indianapolis, and I worked in the Office of Catechesis.
Uh-huh.
So I was helping the catechist leaders with adaptive materials. And we also had a good-sized spread program, which is special religious education and development. And we actually changed it to and discipleship because they had been together for so long that they were now at a stage in their lives where they were much more active in the parish rather than developing their faith. It was more about discipleship. That group was very strong. And we had several parishes, probably about 10. We had 4 yearly events and a dance and summer retreat, an Advent retreat. And then we always did a yearly mass at the cathedral to bring about awareness of disabilities. So
That's wonderful.
You've worked with Arch Indy, but you're not with Arch Indy anymore.
yes, I was really looking to work a little bit closer to home. So I just started a position with New Hope of Indiana. It is a day program, and they were gifted with a grant to start a new program. And that is what I will be leading, which is the Movement Mentor. And it's really an opportunity to have the clients have more exercise within their day program. So I'm super, super excited about it.
And what is New Hope?
New Hope of Indiana is an organization that started in 1978 with the Daughters of Charity. It was a group of families that had children with cerebral palsy, more of a residential program. It has evolved and they are an independent program now. They offer residential services and day services. They do some vocational work. They get out into the community more. It has a lot to offer.
That's great.
My brother was born with a severe physical and cognitive disability. And growing up with my brother was so incredible because I learned firsthand what some of the challenges and struggles, but also the beautiful gift that my brother is. I think that that is really where my passion and my gifts. I felt God really gifted us with Gary as a family. Not only myself, but most of my siblings work with people with disabilities
Oh, wow.
in some shape or form. That really is where my passion came from, is my brother.
Did that ever challenge you in any way, or did it always feel like a gift to you having that?
There were definitely challenges for sure, but my parents were so faith-filled, and I really felt like their faith strengthened them, and they were all about trusting in the Lord and making a way for us as a family, and they always saw all of us, including Gary, as a special gift from God.
That's beautiful.
We've talked about Gary and the impact your parents have had with trusting in God and leading you in your faith. But the loss of your mom is another incident in your life where you've seen God working.
Yes, I think throughout life, you have different times where your faith is stronger and then other times where you kind of stray away a little bit. And I think that was true through my teens and my early 20s. And then I had a really big turning moment in my life. It was after we had started our family and I was pregnant with my second daughter and my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. At the time, we were living in Canada, so it was very difficult for me because she was so far away. She lived in North Carolina. The cancer spread very quickly, and it was around Christmas time. I was pregnant. I was moving from Canada to Michigan, and she passed away a couple weeks before Christmas. So it was a really devastating time in my life, and I do remember there was this song, Breath of Heaven, that was playing. It was very popular at the time, and it was by Amy Grant. And I listened to those words, and Mary spoke about this lonely, kind of frightening time of traveling and on her own. And all of a sudden, I saw Mary with new eyes. She was just such a real person to me all of a sudden and so relatable. And I was really going through something very similar in that I was feeling I was on this journey by myself. I was pregnant. And it was just really a special moment. I really felt Mary drawing me in, especially with my mother passing. And it felt as though Mary was reassuring me that she will be there for me in support, in love, and guidance. And that's exactly what happened. It was a huge turning point for me and my faith.
How did you see Mary showing up for you?
Every challenge that I ever came across, I just felt Mary drawing me closer and drawing me closer to the Lord. Really, the emphasis was so much on prayer, praying the rosary, and also in trusting in the Lord. Those two things got me through all my challenges in my life. She just was very consistent. I felt her at every turn.
Well, and just one, the timing that it was the Christmas season,
Mhm.
and then two, you know, losing your mother, and then Mary kind of saying, I'm still here, even though your earthly mother has passed. Like,
Yes.
I'm still here to be your mother on earth. That's really,
Yeah, it was really beautiful.
yeah, that is beautiful.
This song was not just impactful for you, but it had more impact on your family.
Yes. So after Carly was born, our second daughter, she was your typical infant, kind of fussy, and especially in the car. And so I started playing that song, Breath of Heaven, and she would immediately calm down. It felt very miraculous. And again, It felt like the Blessed Mother reminding me that she was here and she was going to be supportive. And it was another beautiful moment.
Yeah, it gives me goosebumps
Yeah.
to think about that.
Yeah, I'm imagining Mary kind of like soothing her.
What does that really mean to you to be able to sit down and pray the rosary?
The rosary gives me such peace and calm, and it also gives me guidance and direction. It redirects my thoughts and it gets me back on track. It was such a powerful tool in praying for others.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Have you been on any pilgrimages in your lifetime?
yes, yes. I've been to Fatima twice and Lourdes once. Once when I went to Fatima, I realized that it was a wonderful opportunity for me to share my faith with my daughters. I decided that every time they were preparing for confirmation, I would take them on a pilgrimage. My oldest daughter, we went to Fatima. My second daughter, we went to Lourdes because at the time we were living in the UK, so it was much more accessible. When we moved back to the States, my third daughter, we ended up in Canada. And oh my gosh, he's a saint. He's a Canadian. He was devoted to Saint
Saint
Joseph.
Andre.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's the Saint Joseph Oratory.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
So
Thank
it's
you.
funny that you say this because we are preparing for Teen Week. During the summer, middle schoolers and high schoolers, we have kind of like VBS, but for teens. I just spent yesterday reading through this packet, and one of the nights is all about St. Andre Bessette and the St. Joseph Oratory and how he was a doorman. He was just a doorman because they were like, you know what, you're not good enough to be anything else. But he took that and welcomed people and smiled and prayed for them.
He would always tell them to pray to St. Joseph.
Yes.
Get a devotion to St. Joseph.
Yeah. And then I think it started out as this small chapel, and then now it's this amazingly beautiful oratory.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
It's now officially on my list.
Funny because Flanius.
Okay, I have a great pilgrimage. If you want a
tell me,
pilgrimage to
yes.
go, wow. We did the Divine Mercy Shrine.
Oh, wow.
Along the way, there's a place in Vermont where somebody built the exact replica of Mary's house.
Oh, how neat. In Ephesus?
Yes.
Wow.
And I am telling you, it is incredible. It's not easy to get to.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of the woods.
Well,
And it
the real
kind of,
one wasn't either.
yeah.
How many of us are going to Ephesus?
It kind of feels like an apparition almost. I was kind of nervous driving there because we're going through these woods. I'm like, where are we?
Well, and I mean, you could easily do Our Lady of Champion, which is in northern Wisconsin, and go into Canada that
Have
way.
you done that one yet?
No, I have not. That's on my list.
Yeah, I've been a couple times. It's nice because it's small, so it's not as built up as Fatima and Lourdes. So it's still not well known. You can enjoy it in some peace and quiet.
Yeah, and it's not far away. We took the kids over October break.
Oh, that's
A
right.
couple years ago.
Is it something you could do in a weekend?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Right outside of Green Bay.
Yeah. It's interesting you talking about the rosary because I've struggled with my relationship with Mary, and I could never figure out why because my mom's family is like super devout to Mary. And then I came to realize I found my parents got divorced when I was 15. So I found a lot of healing over the last probably 9 months through prayer with not realizing some of the tension I still had with my mom over that, some forgiveness I needed to offer her.
Yeah.
And I'm doing this retreat right now. And through it, they incorporate Mary. And it's amazing since I found a lot of healing and was able to forgive. It's really actually healed that relationship with Mary that I was I think I was putting this wall up almost. So it's been a really special journey, and saying it's for intercessory prayer, it's true because I'm not the best rosary person, but my son who's at school is struggling with some mental health issues, and it's so hard when they're far away because you can't do anything and they don't listen to you. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to do a 54-day novena for him. And it brings you so much peace because you feel like you're doing something and that's about all you can do.
That's true.
So
it is the most powerful thing you can do.
It is. Yeah. So I'm trying to incorporate more rosary, but I've had a stumbling block with that for a long time. And I can never figure out why, but I think that.
Yeah. And have you listened to the Rosary in a Year podcast?
No, and someone also recommended the Jewish Roots of the Rosary by Dr. Brant Petrie, which I really want to read. But have you done that podcast?
I have done the podcast. I think I did it I didn't do a full year,
That's
but I
okay.
think I got to like 150 days. I'm not a big
Yeah.
rosary person either, because for me to sit down for that long, that's, doesn't usually happen, or to be quiet for that long,
Mhm.
right?
I tend to get distracted.
Yeah. But I will tell you, the Rosary in a Year podcast eased you in. And then it added this element of mentally visualizing while you're
Oh.
doing it,
Mhm.
and just added this powerful level to it
Yeah.
that was amazing. And I'm not a big podcast person,
Mhm.
despite being on
I'm
podcasts
not
now,
either.
but this one resonated with me and was moving for me on a daily
Okay, I'll have to
basis.
Wow.
check it out because when I heard Rosary in a Year, I'm like, what in the heck would you possibly talk about for
Well,
a year?
They talk
Rosary.
about so many things,
Mm.
and they kind of
Huh.
ease you in with, like, not even a full decade, I think, for a while.
That's interesting.
So, it's not straight rosary, it's more visualization of your
Mhm.
faith,
Mhm.
and, like, you imagine you're standing in a room and Jesus is there, or
It's
Mary is
that
there.
contemplative prayer.
Yes,
Mm.
and
Because
it's just 20 minutes. Now I
Wow.
feel like I need to go turn it on after we're done today
yeah. Well,
and finish the year.
and that contemplative prayer is like, because that's part of this retreat. And I think this is what's helped my relationship with Mary is that contemplative prayer. Part of it is you reflect on the life of Jesus. So you reflect on Mary when she's pregnant, and you're supposed to
Mm.
visualize yourself with her.
Yes.
So I was visualizing myself at the nativity with her.
Mhm.
In my vision, I'm holding Jesus, but Mary's holding me, and I'm crying.
Oh,
It really is special to feel like,
yes.
how the Holy Spirit can lead you to experience those things
It's
through
easy
prayer.
I think it's easy to separate yourself from
Yeah,
that and not put yourself in
in the
in that
story.
story,
Yeah, because it's still alive.
unless
I
you go to Vermont and go to Mary's
Her house.
replica home, which
Yeah.
I honestly, my older sister, she loves Atlas Obscura. I don't know if you've ever heard of that website
Mm-mm.
before,
Mhm.
but it is a website with all kinds of just weird places all over the world.
Oh.
She's been to 1,000. She was on their podcast recently, actually, because she'd been to so many of their places, and you can create them. So I feel like for sure Mary's house has
Well,
got to be
you
on
need to
there.
create a Catholic one.
Or totally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
get on that, Jenny.
Go back there and write about it
So,
and put it on there.
is that one of the things you do when you pray the rosary? Is that engaging that contemplative prayer with the mysteries?
Absolutely. I believe me, there were times when I first began praying the rosary that it was definitely a struggle for
Mhm.
me. I think that it does take practice using different books to help you,
Enter in.
yeah, and kind of refocus you back, and I think that is really helpful, or some type of podcast. So I think sometimes those little aids are really, really helpful
Mhm.
to get kind of jumpstart you into it. And there are times where you pray it and you're
Yeah,
not all there, but that's okay.
that's normal.
That happens.
So, do you feel like your relationship with God over the years has been kind of a pretty steady progression? Has there been challenges you've had that you really
Def
struggled?
Definitely. There have been challenges, and I think the moves were probably the most challenging for us. Even though we did find church communities, it's always
Oh
hard
my.
to start over
Mm.
and find your way. And when we moved to New Jersey, we had an incredible church community. It was Immaculate Conception. I was in Clinton, New Jersey. My family was young, and we were very involved in the parish, and I was able to be like a spiritual director during their Cornerstone weekend for the women.
That's cool.
And that really was another turning point for my faith as well, because I really felt Mary drawing me closer to Jesus in the Eucharist and in adoration.
So, you hadn't really done adoration before till
No,
that?
I really hadn't.
Did you even know what it was, or was this kind of a
I
new?
I I kind of knew, but I had never experienced it.
So, what was that like for you, that experience?
So powerful. So, so powerful. And once I started going to adoration on a regular basis, I kind of was hooked.
I always tell people it's addicting, and if you miss it, it is.
Yes.
You know
You
if you've
miss it.
missed it.
You
Yeah.
really miss it.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There are times where I'm like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
My time is at 8 o'clock. I kind of just want to, it's cold out. I kind
Mhm.
of want to stay home. And then I remind myself, those are the times when adoration is the most powerful.
That is spiritual warfare too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I remind myself I have to go because that means I really need it
Mm,
because I'm fighting it.
yeah.
Is there a certain time that you like to do adoration when you feel like you get the most out of it, other than when you don't wanna go?
I think anytime I go to adoration, it's powerful. It is such a wonderful time to, and especially in this world of we're just overloaded sensory wise,
Mhm,
it is a quiet time between you and the Lord. And it's amazing the messages that you encounter in those moments. And it's so often it's exactly what you need to hear. And you weren't even anticipating what you needed to hear.
And I know there's a lot of people who've never been to adoration. When I go to adoration, I usually read the Bible, and so I kind of pick a book that I wanna start with and then just read and then kind of think about it. When you go to adoration, what do you do?
I usually start with the rosary just to get me centered. And I also read the Bible. I usually have a book that I'm also reading, some type of book that allows me to really contemplate God's word. And then I also journal. And that's really powerful
mhm.
for me is to have that time to journal.
Why is that powerful for you?
I feel like that's when I really hear messages from God. I really feel like it's a way that I can communicate and then write that
Mm,
down. And it's so much fun to go
mhm.
back and look later on, a month
Yeah.
later and realize, wow, I really did need to hear that message at that moment.
Yeah, I see. I journal too. I used to never journal. Now I'm, like, going through a journal every couple months, and it's sometimes I'll just be writing, and I'll go back and be like, "Wow, I didn't even know I thought that or felt
Hmm.
that," and God's stirring these things up, and it really has changed my prayer life. I know it's not for everybody, but it really is
Hmm.
powerful.
I found adoration to be intimidating at the beginning because I didn't know you were allowed to do stuff in there.
Oh, yeah.
I
Or I think
thought you just went and sat there
and I
and
think
then you were quiet.
and
And the idea of doing that for a long
yeah.
time, again, was intimidating
Or I
to
think
me.
people think they have to kneel the whole time, and it's like,
Right.
"No, you don't have to do that."
Yes.
Yeah. I know I had experiences with it when I was younger, but God called me to it when we were in South Carolina, and the church we were at had it was huge. There were 5,000 families, so
Holy cow.
yeah, more than double our size here, and they had perpetual adoration, 24 hours a day, every day, you can
Mhm,
go anytime you want. So, I had never gone on my own before. I mean, as part of a
mhm,
retreat, we've had it, but I had not done that, and I remember being down there thinking, "Okay, I wanna do something for Lent." I do better with doing an
mhm,
extra thing than taking something
mhm.
away, I don't know why. So, I went to mass and the announcement was, "If you would like to get a card for the Adoration Chapel," basically a key fob thing,
Oh.
"you can get one from the parish office," and I'm like, "Okay, I guess that's what we're doing. Thanks for letting me know." So, it was cool to have your little card in
Mhm.
in your
Hmm.
wallet, and then just whenever you wanted, and there'd always be somebody in there, but
Yeah.
whenever you wanted, you could just go in. So, I would do an hour a week
Mhm.
during Lent and just went in and started reading.
That's
Pick a
awesome.
different book every time. God gives you what you can handle, they
Mhm.
say, right?
Yeah.
So, I could not handle silence, but I could handle reading with him for a little bit, and then as I would read, things would hit me, and that's how he would talk to me.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome. Well, so you actually commit to an hour a week.
Yes.
So that's one of the things we're encouraging parishioners who go to commit.
Mm.
So why is it important to you to actually commit to that versus just showing up when you feel like it?
The commitment is so, so crucial because there are times where you don't want to go, but you have that commitment. And again, those are the times that adoration is the most powerful, is when you go when you don't want to go. And the commitment, the consistency is really helps you develop your faith.
what hour did you pick if I wanna come say hi to you?
It's Wednesday, 8 o'clock.
If you can't be there, what do you do?
I try to find a sub.
Mm,
They have, you just
yeah.
do it online. It's very easy.
And they're almost always accepted. I've never seen one not accepted.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really had a problem with it.
Yeah.
Or I'll ask someone,
Mhm.
my family. It's very easy.
Yeah. the beautiful thing about committing is it's a gift to the parish because if we don't have people committing every hour, we couldn't have an adoration chapel
And
because
then I can't show up whenever I want with
yeah,
my card.
exactly. So,
Although you don't need a card here, you can just walk
well,
right
it really is it's a gift of yourself to the parish as well as
Absolutely.
holding you accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I've done adoration in other
Mhm.
parishes where they had perpetual as well. But what's really kind of special is that you end up kind of getting to know the
Mhm.
people that are before or after you
Mhm.
and in a very silent way.
Mhm.
It's amazing. There was a gentleman that always was at 9 o'clock after us, and we would just nod and smile. And Christmas Eve Mass, he came up to us and he was there with his family and we were there with our family. And it was a really kind of special
That's
moment
neat.
because we didn't know each other, but we kind of felt like we did
Yeah.
just through passing and adoration. And we kind of felt like we had this special bond. And we ran into him again at Ash Wednesday as well. And I don't know, it's kind of amazing.
That is amazing. Wow.
So you say we. Do you and your husband go to adoration
Yes,
together?
we do. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. It's nice.
And
And then we also encourage each other.
Yeah.
I
It
like
helps
that.
when you have a partner.
Yeah.
It's like when you don't wanna work out, but then
Yeah, exactly.
you're
Somebody's
meeting a friend.
accountable.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's nice that we've been able to work it out in the evenings.
what do you think made him join you with that?
That's a good
He had more
question.
time.
Yeah, actually, that's exactly right. He had more time on his hands living here. You're right. That's what made the difference. Because he actually would go to mass. He worked in New York City, and he would go to mass in the middle of the day.
Mm,
He had that opportunity, which was nice. But now it's so nice to be able to do this together.
yeah, that is. Tell us briefly, before we wrap up, just what your role here is that you came to us wanting to help support the special needs families of our parish.
I really feel strongly that God gave me this gift to work with people with disabilities, and especially having a family member impacted our family so much that I really understand some of the struggles and some of the joys that other people don't understand or
Mhm.
recognize. So I really and I'm at a time in my life right now where I do have more time, and my kids are grown and out of the house for the most part. And so yeah, I really felt drawn to this as a ministry and to encourage this ministry at this parish as well.
Yeah, and it's kind of in its infancy still, but I know it's something we'd like to grow over time.
Yeah, we're grateful that you're here and you're sharing your knowledge and your experience and your devotion, especially to that community
Mm.
with our parish.
Absolutely. I'm excited.
Thank you again, Jenny, for stopping by and
Thank you.
sharing your story. It was very beautiful, and it's always fun to hear parishioners how God works in their lives in different ways. And
And we'll come wave to you at 9 a.m. when you're done with adoration.
no, 8 p.m.
Oh, 8 p.m. Oh my gosh. I thought it was 8 a.m.
No,
Pardon
p.m.
me.
8 p.m.
I might be on my couch, but I live across the street, so I will wave to you from there.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
If you love Holy Banter, you can support us by opening your podcast app and hitting the 5-star button and leaving a quick review. It's easy and it helps us reach way more people. Thank you for listening.